Please welcome our next actor!
And is man any the less destroying himself for all this boasted brain of his? Have you walked up and down upon the earth lately? Well, and I have examined man's wonderful inventions, and I tell you that in the arts of life, man is a bungler. But in the arts of death, oh, he outdoes nature herself and invents by chemistry and machinery all the slaughter of plague, pestilence, and famine. The peasant I tempt today eats and drinks what was eaten and drunk by the peasant of 10,000 years ago. And the house he lives in has not altered as much in 1,000 centuries as the fashion of a lady's bonnet in a score of weeks. But when he goes out to slay, man carries a marvel of mechanism and lets loose at the touch of his fingers all the hidden molecular energies and leaves the arrow, the blowpipe, the javelin of his fathers far behind. I saw a young man die. He was a London bricklayer's labourer with 7 children. He left his wife 7 pounds glove money and his wife spent it all on the funeral and went into the workhouse with the children next time. She would not have spent 7 pence on the children's schooling. The law had to force her to let them be taught gratuitously. But on death, she spent all she had. Their energies rise up. Their imaginations glow at the idea of death people they love it. And the more horrible it is, the more they enjoy it. Health is a place far above their comprehension. They derive their notion of it from 2 of the greatest fools who ever lived, an Italian and an Englishman. The Italian described it as a place full of mud, frost, filth, fire, venom, serpents, or torture. This ass, when he was not lying about me, was wandering over some woman whom he saw once in the street. The Englishman described me as being expelled from heaven by cannons and gunpowder, and to this day, every Briton believes that the whole of his silly story is in the Bible. Or whatever else he says. I do not know. For it is all in some long poem which neither I nor anyone else has ever succeeded in wading through. It is the same in everything. The highest form of literature is the tragedy of play in which everyone is murdered in the end. In the old chronicles, you read of plagues and pestilences, and you were told that this showed the power and majesty of God in the littleness of man. Nowadays, the chronicles describe battles. In a battle, one body of men shoots at another body of men with cannons and explosive shells, whilst one body runs away, and the others chase after them and cut them to pieces as they fly. And this, the chronicle concludes, shows the power and majesty of empires and the littleness of the vanquished. And over such battles, the people run about the street, yelling in delight, egging their governments on to spend hundreds of millions of money in the slaughter, whilst the strongest ministers dare not spend an extra penny in the pound against the poverty and pestilence through which they themselves daily walk. I can give you 1,000 instances, but it all comes to the same thing. The power that governs the earth is not the power of life, but of death. And the inner need that has nerved life into the effort of organizing itself into the human being is not the need for greater life, but for a more efficient engine of destruction. The plague, the pestilence, the famine, the flood, which was spasmodic in their action. The tiger and the crocodile, too easily satiated, not cruel enough, something more horrible, more ruthless, more ingeniously destructive was needed. And that something was man. The inventor of the rack, the stake, the gallows, the electric chair, of gun and sword and poison gas, above all of honor, duty, patriotism, and all the other isms by which even those who are clever enough to be humanely disposed can be persuaded to become the most destructive of all destroyers.
Dempsey doing Piece of the Devil from Don Juan in Hell by George Bernard Shaw.